is a universal experience. It is woven into the fabric of our existence, a primal emotion that has protected us from danger for millennia. But in the modern world, fear often takes on a different form. It no longer lurks in the shadows of physical threats, but hides in the corners of our minds, whispering doubts, sowing insecurities, and stealing our dreams. Today, I want to talk about how fear becomes the thief of dreams and how we can reclaim what is rightfully ours. Dreams are the lifeblood of human progress. They are the visions that propel us forward, the ideas that inspire us to create, to innovate, and to strive for something greater than ourselves. Yet dreams are fragile. They require courage, commitment, and an unwavering belief in their possibility. And it is here, at the intersection of dreams and action, that fear often strikes. Fear tells us we are not good enough, that we will fail, that we are unworthy of success. It convinces us to play it safe, to stay within the confines of our comfort zones, and to abandon the very things that give our lives meaning. But what is the cost of surrendering to fear? It is the cost of a life half lived, of potential untapped, of dreams left to wither in the shadows of what could have been. The truth is, fear is not the enemy. It is a signal, a reminder that we are stepping into the unknown, that we are challenging ourselves to grow. But when we allow fear to dictate our actions, it becomes a thief that robs us of our dreams, our purpose, and our future. So how do we confront this thief? The answer lies in responsibility. Responsibility is the antidote to fear. When we take ownership of our lives, when we focus on what we can control and take deliberate steps toward our goals, fear begins to lose its power. It is in the small, consistent actions, the daily choices to move forward despite the uncertainty, that we build the resilience to overcome fear. Confronting fear is not easy. It requires courage, discipline, and a willingness to face discomfort, but the rewards are immeasurable. On the other side of fear lies growth, fulfillment, and the realization of our dreams. Every step we take in the face of fear is a step toward becoming the person we are meant to be. Dreams are not just idle fantasies. They are the guiding force that gives our lives direction and meaning. They are the compass that points us toward our highest potential. But to protect our dreams, we must be vigilant. We must recognize fear for what it is, a thief, and refuse to let it steal what matters most. In closing, I urge you to confront your fears. Take responsibility for your life. Pursue your dreams with unwavering determination. Remember, fear is not the absence of courage. It is the opportunity to prove your courage. Do not let fear rob you of the life you are capable of living. Stand tall, face the unknown, and reclaim your dreams. This speech is designed to inspire and motivate while adhering to YouTube's community guidelines. It avoids any language or content that could be considered abusive or inappropriate. Understanding fear is one of the most primal and universal human emotions. It is hardwired into our biology, a survival mechanism that has protected us from danger for thousands of years. But in the modern world, fear often takes on a different form. It's no longer just about physical threats like predators and natural disasters. Instead, it manifests as self-doubt, anxiety, and the fear of failure. This kind of fear is insidious because it operates in the background of our minds, whispering lies that we are not good enough, that we will fail, or that we are unworthy of success. The problem with fear is not its existence, but how we respond to it. When we allow fear to dictate our actions, it becomes a barrier to growth. It convinces us to stay within our comfort zones, to avoid risks, and to abandon the very dreams that give our lives meaning. Fear thrives in uncertainty, and it uses our imagination against us, conjuring up worst-case scenarios that paralyze us. But here's the truth. Fear is not a reflection of reality. It is a projection of our insecurities and doubts. To overcome fear, we must first understand it. Fear is not the enemy, it is a signal. It tells us that we are stepping into the unknown, that we are challenging ourselves to grow. The key is to recognize fear for what it is, a natural response to uncertainty, and to refuse to let it control us. By understanding fear, we can begin to separate it from our identity. We can acknowledge its presence without allowing it to dictate our decisions. This is the first step toward reclaiming our dreams from the grip of fear. The cost of inaction, when we allow fear to control our lives, the cost is immense. Fear doesn't just steal our dreams, it steals our potential, our time, and our sense of purpose. Every time we give in to fear, we sacrifice a piece of our future. We trade the possibility of growth for the illusion of safety. But the truth is, there is no real safety in inaction. Inaction only leads to stagnation, regret, and a life half-lived. Think about the dreams you put on hold because of fear. Maybe it's starting a business, pursuing a creative passion, or making a significant life change. Every day that you delay, every opportunity you let slip away is the day that fear wins. The cost of inaction is not just the loss of what could have been, it's the erosion of your confidence and self-worth. Over time, fear convinces you that you are incapable of achieving your dreams, and this belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But it doesn't have to be this way. The antidote to inaction is action. Small, deliberate steps that move you closer to your goals. Every time you take action, no matter how small, you weaken fear's hold on you. You prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought possible. The cost of inaction is high, but the rewards of taking action are even greater. By refusing to let fear control you, you reclaim your power and your dreams. Confronting fear is not about eliminating it. It's about learning to act despite it. Fear will always be a part of life, but it doesn't have to be the dominant force. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the willingness to move forward even when you are afraid. This is where true growth happens, on the other side of fear. When you confront fear, you begin to see it for what it really is. A paper tiger. Fear thrives on avoidance. The more you avoid what scares you, the bigger it becomes in your mind. But when you face it head on, you realize that fear is often exaggerated. The worst case scenarios you imagine rarely come to pass. And even if they do, you are stronger and more resilient than you think. Confronting fear requires practice. It starts with small steps, saying yes to opportunities that scare you, taking risks, and embracing discomfort. Each time you confront fear, you build confidence and resilience. Over time, fear loses its power over you. It becomes a challenge to overcome rather than a barrier to avoid. By confronting fear, you unlock new possibilities and open the door to a life of purpose and fulfillment. The role of responsibility. Responsibility is the antidote to fear. When you take responsibility for your life, you shift your focus from what you cannot control to what you can. Fear often arises from a sense of helplessness, a feeling that you are at the mercy of external circumstances. But when you take responsibility, you reclaim your agency. You recognize that you have the power to shape your life, even in the face of uncertainty. Taking responsibility means setting goals, making plans, and taking action. It means holding yourself accountable for your choices and their consequences. This doesn't mean that everything will go according to plan. Life is unpredictable and setbacks are inevitable. But when you take responsibility, you approach challenges with a sense of purpose and determination. You see obstacles as opportunities to learn and grow rather than as reasons to give up. Responsibility also means being honest with yourself about your fears. It means acknowledging your doubts and insecurities without letting them define you. When you take responsibility, you stop blaming external circumstances or other people for your problems. Instead, you focus on what you can do to improve your situation. This shift in mindset is empowering. It transforms fear from a paralyzing force into a motivator for action. Dreams as a guiding force. Dreams are not just fantasies. They are the compass that guides us toward a meaningful life. They give us direction, purpose, and a reason to strive for something greater. But dreams are fragile. They require care, attention, and protection. Fear is the thief that threatens to steal them away, but it is also the obstacle that makes them worth pursuing. When you protect your dreams, you are protecting your future. You are saying no to fear and yes to possibility. Dreams are not just about achieving specific goals. They are about becoming the person you are meant to be. Every step you take toward your dreams is a step towards self-discovery and growth. Dreams also have the power to inspire others. When you pursue your dreams, you show others that it is possible to overcome fear and achieve greatness. Your courage becomes a beacon of hope for those around you. By protecting and pursuing your dreams, you not only transform your own life, but also contribute to the world in a meaningful way. In the end, fear is just a test of your commitment to your dreams. When you refuse to let fear win, you prove to yourself and the world that your dreams are worth fighting for. And that is the greatest victory of all.